You won't believe what happens next. Help me out. Can you cast your magic on my family's art creation? I've prepared a delicious feast for you. You really have to laugh when you hear Choi Hyuk-sung's excuses. Park Hee-young is banking on Director Lee, as two forgetful idealists get lost in the streets of Beijing. The advertising business was never just about the cash, it was about bridging gaps. But look at us now, it's all gone haywire. When Director Lee remembers the children of his country facing hunger and cold, it really hits hard. He choked up, realizing these are all victims of political gains. Why do you believe in me? I believe in you. Never thought we'd be out of options. But now it's all over, the troops have already moved. It's like a bad dream. Subtitles, no, sir. There's still another way, Chief. What we refer to as business is all about taking risks. It's got two meanings. One is profit, the other is adventure, Chief. Think about it. Want to join me on this adventure? But Park Hee-young is talking about having a direct word with General Kim. Seriously, Park Hee-young really went all out this time, bluntly saying the general got played, and General Kim was a bit flustered, but with Director Lee backing him up, General Kim was a bit shaken, so he called in the section chief to get his 2 cents. This guy gains benefits in security department, so he cheers for SK ruling party, fanning the flames. He firmly backs armed protests. Park Hee-young resorted to trump card 3.6M, but actually had 4M. Can you guess where that leftover $400,000 went? Even without naming names, it clearly exposed corruption near the general, spooking the chief. Making him up instantly, Park Hee-young pressed on, General, don't let a few million jeopardize your future millions. After some thinking, the general wisely decided to halt all military action. With the elections around the corner, it's worrying how North Korea remains silent. The Unification Ministry was livid. Kim Tae-jung's triumphant win marked the first peaceful transfer of power to an opposition party in 50 years of South Korea. The people cheered wildly, heralding a new dawn for inter-Korean relations. After the victory, Park Hee-young got an invite to Director Lee's house. He received a gift, a tie clip with righteous spirit engraved on it. That was Lee's first impression of him on their first meeting. Park Hee-young even broke tradition and raised a glass for the advertising industry. And of course, to celebrate the arrival of peace between the North and South. But the Unification Ministry started cleaning house, and guess who's the prime suspect? Someone has to go. Choi Hyuk-sung pulled a fast one, exposing Park's spy identity using a competitor's name. He quickly distanced himself from the Unification Ministry. At this point, Park Hee-young was still in North Korea, and if his identity was exposed, had be toast. Although he felt a twinge of pity, Director Lee had his reasons to pull the trigger. Subtitles, he finally put the gun down. Director Lee realized Park was betrayed by his own, and gave him fake ID with only an IR. Subtitles. Park Hee-young immediately fled from North Korea, and ultimately, he boarded a train that swiftly crossed the border. They both believed that one day they'd meet again after fulfilling their promise. After that, Park reached Beijing, never to return home. Meanwhile, the section chief and his men were sent for hard labor, while Director Lee was arrested at home and vanished like magic. During his time in Beijing, Park often visited the North Korean restaurant where they first met. Every time someone walked in, he hoped it would be an old friend, but all he got was silence. Times pound acute mat ilo tilde circumflex o mat letter 3ca cyrillic letter 43 I circumflex mat times o circumflex letter 3c plus or minus acute subtitles. After Kim Tae-jung took office, investigations into a series of events began. The Unification Ministry was purged, and Choi Hyuk-sung was arrested. North-South reuniting families on screen looked heartwarming, yet Park Hee-young was filled with doubts. Why did I become a North Korean? Why a spy? What am I really fighting for? 5 years later, in 2005, Park Hee-young arrived in Shanghai for a North-South advertising collaboration event. South Korea sent Lee Hae-il, while North Korea invited Cho Myung-hee. The model shook hands under flashing lights, and everyone witnessed a historic collaboration. Can't imagine they waited 10 years for this handshake. Think of all the sacrifices. All the eyes in the venue were fixed on the protagonist, as Park Hee-young kept scanning the North Korean attendees, hoping to catch sight of a familiar face in the crowd. Just when he was about to give up, Director Lee was also searching the crowd. When their eyes met, he couldn't help but smirk and raised his hand. "Look, I'm still wearing that fake watch you gifted me." Park Hee-young laughed too, unbuttoning his jacket to show off the tie clip Director Lee gifted him, like they were playing a game. In that moment of eye contact, he smiled faintly and raised his hand. "Look what I still have your fake watch." Park Hee-young laughed too, unbuttoning his jacket with a slight grin, raising his hand to respond. Scanning through the crowd, at the instant their eyes met, a faint smile appeared. He displayed a barely noticeable smile, then raised his hand. "Look, I'm still wearing your fake watch." Park Hee-young laughed as well, unbuttoning his jacket and signaling with an amused grin. Finally, Park Hee-young was released from prison. Maybe it was in that moment of imprisonment where he truly understood the essence of his profession. No matter how the mission turned out, this was destined to be a lonely war with no winners, where they weaved lies throughout their lives. Don't forget to subscribe.